It's literally about, what can I do now to expand my life? So if you're creating a work atmosphere to expand somebody's life, they're going to be wanting today. Back in the 40s and 50s, there was a time of, I want to call it, say, stagnation, where, there wasn't a lot of jobs, and, so stagnant. So people would do anything to hold on to a job, because that was what their identity was. The employees would do anything just to hold down a job. It doesn't really matter anymore. Nowadays, they have so many different opportunities, and they want more than just, well, I want a paycheck, because back then it was about survival. In the 40s, 50s, 60s, it was about survival, and that's it. And that's the problem. That concept, or that idea, has migrated into, this 21st century. People are now trying to figure out, hey, I want to be human. I'm here for a reason, and it's more than just, outputting widgets or whatever you want to do. And I've worked with a ton of CEOs. At the end of the day, with their 80s and their 90s, and they come back to me. My family came from a well-respected family, a lot of wealth and so on like that. And again, as they've aged, they've never said, if I just made another, couple $100 million, then I would be happier. Nowadays, it's like that meaning of life is starting off at the younger generation. It's like, no, I want to experience the meaning of life when I'm younger. And, so your workforce is changing. So as a CEO, what are you going to do? What are you going to do about, say, the workforce? You have to provide the meaning of life, or why you are here, at a genetic level, your deeper purpose. You have to ravel that or entangle that into, say, your work environment. And it sounds kind of crazy, I know, because it's like, well, no, we're just here to make a profit. Well, the companies that I've worked with, is quite amazing. The CEOs are a hell of a lot healthier. They're not burning themselves out, because their quality of life, their main purpose of being human, one, is fulfilled. If your main purpose of being human as a CEO is fulfilled, well, you're a lot happier CEO. Your managers, your employees are a lot happier. It's much easier for, say, your workflow to go smoother without glitches. It's a lot easier for the dynamics of the company to go a lot easier and smoother, because, well, there's several reasons, but the main reason is because that individual, whether it's a CEO level, management level, employee level, it's like, gosh, they treat me like human. And it's not about just treating human, it's about being and experiencing that consciousness of literally living like you're human, and you're worthy of more than just, say, production or the bottom line. When you can create that atmosphere in yourself, you can create that atmosphere in your company. When you can create that atmosphere in your company, what happens? And this is straight out, this is straight out proof from the companies that I've worked with. One, you get rid of those problem employees. Those types of individuals create problems. That's what they do. That's what they're, say, geared up for and programmed. So you get rid of those problem employees, and you attract those employees that want to grow, that want to expand, that want to, say, improve their life, because that's what their life mission is, right? It's literally about, what can I do now to expand my life? So if you're creating a work atmosphere to expand somebody's life, they're going to be wanting to come to work. Just like many, say, sports teams, that win, right? They're in the zone. They're connected. They can know when and where the other person is going to throw that ball and be there automatically to catch it. You can get the same scenario in the work atmosphere as well. So it becomes really a healthy environment when you create, say, an XI environment on, within your company. One, you get rid of your problem employees. Bottom line, those people that want to cause issues and are always having issues, whether they're sick or whatever it might be, They just don't want to work there anymore. Two, you attract individuals that really want to create a vision of their life. They want to understand life more. So you attract really good people, and they love working there. The work atmosphere really changes. Three, well, like I just said, the work atmosphere radically changes, so you have more efficiencies in the system. The cool thing about it all is that, one, your motivation, employee motivation, they love coming to work. So they love coming to work. It's a healthier group of individuals that want to come to work. It unifies, the group, dynamics, and profits, tend to go up when you have all that. So how does a CEO go about getting all that? Because that's what CEOs are always after. And there's a lot of companies that spend a lot of money, motivating, training their employees, taking them to, motivational classes, self-improvement classes and so on like that. They've got, Google, Facebook campuses and so on that provide everything for the employees. And, those things, they're failing. And the reason why, they're literally failing is because they're not providing what that person needs. They're not providing the nutrition, the frequency nutrition that the employee needs. They're not providing that frequency nutrition, that the CEO needs. And that's why the CEO burns out or does some stupid ass thing later on, to mess up their company and themselves. Right. So the benefit of all this is or what do you do? How do you get these employees? How do you get those star employees? And again, my cat just loves when I do these. So she's right here. She just loves the frequencies that it's about. And by the way, animals love the proper frequencies, and that's why I don't know how many times I come in, we do the high level, transformations for CEOs and stuff, and she's around right here. So anyway, so she's going to be in the video, guys. Yeah. So she just loves the vibe. Literally, she loves the vibe. I'm not like, hey, here's some kitty treats, or hey, here's this and that, come here and stay with me, we're going to incentivize you with more bonuses and all that stuff. What is this cat after? It's the same thing that, humans are after, right? That spiritual nutrition, if you want to call it that, to water it down. And again, I don't mean to water it down, but just so everybody knows, there's some, presence, or there's some essence that we all need to feed. That presence or essence, however you want to call it. If you're religious, that's totally fine. You can look at it from that bend. If you're spiritual, that's totally fine. You can look at it from that bend. And even if you're atheist or scientist, or intellectual that doesn't believe in any of that, just think of it as there's a grander version of you that wants to come out. Okay, so however you look at it, whatever faith or belief system you have, we're all human. We all have a natural element that wants to be the grandest version of themselves. So how do you get that? Think of your organization as an organism. Say you have heart issues, the other parts of your body get depleted, right? Or are, shortchanged because of your heart issues, or your addiction problems, or whatever. Now expand that into your company culture. So all those genetic issues, or your, identity, self-identity of who you really are, again, the frequency of who you really are, that parallels, or that starts coming into play into your organization. So if you're, an unhealthy CEO, your genetic pattern is unhealthy. That genetic pattern transfers into, more employees being ill, more employees being, having problems, having sick days, not being, their complete self, right? If you have issues, especially, personality issues, you're always angry, or you're always frustrated, or, you're that, sheep CEO. I call it a sheep CEO, where, underlying you're a sheep, but then, in front of your, employees and your company and your shareholders, you're that, that wolf or that lion. people start to see the two identities that you have, and that creates a misrepresentation in your management. It creates misrepresentation in your employees, right down the line, right down to the person that's cleaning out the bathrooms, and you're gonna have that chaos on, like, who are we following? Are we following this sheep or are we following this lion? The employees are sensing, okay, beyond, say, the physical perception, just like my cat here, right? They sense that, oh, Moss is generating these frequencies. What is that? That I need, that I want to hang out with him, right? So you naturally attract. So those employees are going, wow, there's some distorted frequencies that I'm getting here. If you had like a frequency counter, they have that, right? They have a frequency sensor that measures, say, radio waves and so on, like that, right? So if that CEO, for example, and we're all, frequency, say, sensors, we all get vibes from people. I don't care who you are. Even if you don't believe it, you get a vibe from that person. If that vibe isn't congruent to, say, a higher being or a person that is congruent, that's what a higher being is. You're congruent on the inside as you are on the outside. I'm not just blaming, just that CEO, but if the CEO is congruent, right, you would naturally have or gravitate to kids that would have, say, less issues, are more congruent and strong and healthy. Again, it's the same family value structure in a company. It goes right down. Even if those employees don't really see the CEO, that frequency within the company is still there. I get the CEO that calls me up or connects with me and goes, hey, you know what? My company's failing. Or, we're struggling. We're always having finance issues. Or we're always having some, research and development issues. Or, it's taking years for us to, do some research where we could, where we know we could condense it if we can, just go beyond, to that precipice and understand, say, what's the next best thing. So those are the kind of questions that first, say, intrigue the CEO to come seek me out. And then I scan them, I analyze them. It's just like an asset sheet, a balance sheet. It's like, well, I know you want X, but let's take a look at your balance sheet, right? Because again, it's about your frequency balance sheet. Okay, how are you as an individual? Okay, are you two very different people? A lot of CEOs are 3 or 4 different, say, personalities, depending on what and who they're dealing with. So again, you analyze all that. So the first step is literally, it's like, one, the CEO comes to me and it's like, Moss, I have X problem. And that X problem, again, is, they want to, have a thriving company, right? Or their company's having massive issues, right? Whatever it might be. So either they want to have, a better environment, or they have massive issues, or, they've invested in a lot of time and money trying to figure out what's wrong, with their, say, company culture, or again, a concept or an idea that they can't get off the ground. So those are the 3 main patterns that, CEOs come to me. Part of that too is like, it's like, Moss, I love my company, I love how much money I'm making, but I'm just not happy. I'm burnt out. That again, that's the number 1 reason that that people come to me. So when they do come to me, it's like, I don't look at their company, the company issues and so on like that. I look at again, the CEO, because I can analyze the CEO. Okay, just like that. And again, even if you don't believe me, it's okay. I've done it with hundreds of thousands of people. I don't need to prove anything to you. If you want to, again, you can just come and have a session with me, and I'll prove it to you if you need that proof. But anyway, I analyze the CEO and see what's going on, and from there, I extrapolate exactly the problems of what the company is. Simple as that. What I do is like, hey, you know what? Let's solve the CEO here. And as the CEO changes, the company problems start to change. The company starts to manifest a whole different identity. And it's really amazing to see where, again, where 2 things that are, say, from the outside perspective, not related, right? Company or like CEO problems and then company problems. When they're not related, when I analyze it and lay it out for them, it just, again, company problems, CEO problems, again, identical issues here, right? At a genetic level, I would call it. So as you switch over, as that CEO starts to become or realize who they really are, one, they're less burnt out in all the positive health issues, mental issues, cognitive issues, and that, that rebirth of who they really are, that rebirth of, gosh, I'm really human again, right? I'm not a slave to my company, right? They become real individuals or humans who happen to be running a company. But it also changes and transforms the value system of your employees and the products and services that you're sending out. There's a vibe in your product and service when you're sending out. It just feels good to have, again, a product or service that loving people, that people who are healthy carry. And people can feel that in the product and service that you're providing to your clients. Your clients become happier. And for some ungodly reason, it's amazing, those people want to come back to your store and go, I don't know why, but I just like the vibe of this store. If you have a store or representative or whatever, they just like the vibe of the product that you have. Because again, all those frequencies are packaged into the end result, your product and service. One of the biggest, say, examples of this is the Apple iPhone. At the time, the iPhone was not the best phone out there. It was not the cheapest phone out there, by the way. Right? There was again, a few other competitors that had a lot, a much better phone that was out there at a cheaper price. But why did everybody want the iPhone? Because it was the frequency of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs created this identity. And you might think it's their marketing and so on like that. That's an offshoot. That's a byproduct of, again, the frequency of Steve Jobs. He was a very magnetic person. That's the kind of vibe that I'm talking about. You don't have to seduce them. You don't have to create those annoying, customer service calls where they keep telling you, it's like, oh, I'm so sorry for your problem, blah, 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 blah. It's like, yeah, I just want to get that done. It's not about that. It's about, again, the vibe of your product and service, the end results.